Hello, welcome to August 14th, 2023. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation and video. This is something that I do each and every day, a little bit after waking up. It's now 4:49 a.m. I do this in order to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I also use this time to reflect on the last 24 hours, including last night, to see how I did with the various challenges and opportunities that I encountered. I also think about the coming day, to plan for any challenges or opportunities I might meet, and to ready myself for the unexpected. But before we start, let's have two poems. Sticking with Keats, we're going to read yesterday's poem that we studied all the way through once, and then I'll start a new poem, and this will be the study session. We'll go over new vocabulary, and then read the poem. Yesterday's poem is titled, Read Me a Lesson, Muse, and Speak It Loud. Read me a lesson, Muse, and speak it loud, upon the top of Nevis, blind in mist. Oh, let me explain something though first. So this poem and the poems in this book, these are the complete works of Keats, are written in chronological, I guess that's the right word, chronological order, the order in which Keats wrote them. So if you find a poem just after another poem, it was written just after that poem. These two poems that I'm going to read today appear to have been written by Keats about or during his walking trip through Scotland. And these both deal with his ascent of the highest peak in Scotland and in the United Kingdom, Ben Nevis. Or just, as he calls it here, Nevis. So if you hear the word Nevis, it's that mountain. Read me a lesson, Muse, and speak it loud. Upon the top of Nevis, blind in mist, I look into the chasms, and a shroud, vaporous, doth hide them. Just so much I wist. Mankind do know of hell. I look overhead, and there is sullen mist, even so much mankind can tell of heaven. I'm not doing a very good job of reading this. Let me try this again. It's interesting. I know his poetry, the way that he structures it is tricky, but these set lines don't begin with each line. They begin in the middle, and if you're not careful, it's easy to get mixed up. Let me try this again. And by the way, the first line of the poem is the title. Read me a lesson, Muse. And so imagine Keats standing atop Ben Nevis. I don't know if he wrote it while he was up there or later, but this is the impression. Read me a lesson, Muse, and speak it loud. Upon the top of Nevis, blind in mist, I look into the chasms, and a shroud, vaporeth, doth hide them. Just so much I wist. Mankind do know of hell. I could do that better. Vaporous doth hide them. Just so much I wist. Mankind do know of hell. I look overhead, and there in sullen mist, even so much mankind can tell of heaven. There you go. Mist is spread before the earth, beneath me, even such. Even so vague is man's sight of himself. No, full pause there. So he's sitting up on, he sees the heavens and the hell, the mists above and below, and imagines that we're blind to heaven and hell. Even so vague is man's sight of himself. Here are the craggy stones beneath my feet. Thus much I know, that, a poor witless elf, I tread on them, that all my eye doth meet is mist and crag, not only on this not only on this height, but in the world of thought and mental might. A lot going through Keats's mind as he was up on the summit there, right? Some of us might be just blinded by the fog and curse our bad luck that we can't see the view from after making the effort to climb that mountain. Keats, on the other hand, sees something more. The next poem is an interesting one. This is called Upon My Life, Sir Nevis, I Am Piqued. It's a dialogue between a woman, Mrs. C, and darn it, I had her name because I looked it up. It's Mrs. Clifford or something like that. and Ben Nevis the mountain. So she is apparently a real person, and she is the fattest woman in Inverness. And she attempted to climb, she did successfully climb Ben Nevis with her servants. And this poem is about her apparently getting to the top and cursing the mountain, or at least complaining loud enough to wake it up. And she in the mountain threatens to have an earthquake and consume her. She faints and then wakes up later in the company of her servants, and she's all right. So this is that dialogue. There's a lot of new words here, or a lot of words that I had to confirm the meaning. Sir Nevis is Ben Nevis the mountain. Mrs. C, as I described. Bait is to abate. To boot is besides. Coddle pot, it's an old pot that was used to make a drink called coddle, which was used for old people, the ill, and women who had just given birth. Gemini is just it's part of a phrase. How the Gemini would be like, how the heck. Titbits is little bits. I thought we said tidbits. I was surprised I had to look it up for the tidbits, and ChatGPT gave me a caution because I thought I used a naughty word. Bus means a light kiss. A bus like that is a light kiss. And blockhead. I had to look that up. I thought I knew what that meant. And fool, right? And then I looked that up, and ChatGPT gave me a great quote by no one other than Dr. Johnson. The quote goes like this: "It's better to be silent and thought a blockhead than to speak and to confirm the fact." Something to that effect. Okay, this is a rather long poem. Let's do it. The title and the first line do not match, and there are sections where it calls out who's talking, Mrs. C or Ben Nevis. Upon my life, Sir Nevis, I am piqued. Mrs. C. Upon my life, Sir Nevis, I am piqued that I have so far panted, tugged, and reeked to do an honour to your old bald pate, and now am sitting on you just to bait, without your paying me one compliment. Alas, 'tis so withal, when our intent is plain, and in the eye of all mankind we fair ones show a preference too blind. You, gentlemen, immediately turn tail. Oh, let me then by my hapless fate bewail. Ungrateful bald pate, have I not disdained the pleasant valleys? Have I not, mad-brained, deserted all my pickles and preserves, my china closet too, with wretched nerves? To boot, say, wretched and great, have I not left my soft cushion chair and coddle pot? 'Tis true I had no corns, no, thank the fates. My shoemaker was always Mr. Bates, and if not Mr. Bates, why, I'm not old. So still dumb, ungrateful Nevis, still so cold. So that's the lady speaking to the mountain as she's taking a rest. So I guess she's not on the top yet. Here the lady took some more whiskey, and was putting even more to her lips when she dashed it to the ground, for the mountain began to grumble, which continued for a few minutes before he thus began. So imagine a little earth rumbling. Here's Ben Nevis, the mountain, talking. Ben Nevis. What whining bit of tongue and mouth thus dares disturb my slumber of 1,000 years? Even so long my sleep has been secured, and to be so awaked I'll not endure. Oh, pain! For since the eagle's earliest scream I've had a damned, confounded, ugly dream, a nightmare sure. What, madam, was it you? It cannot be. My old eyes are not true. Red crag, my spectacles, now let me see. Good heavens, lady, how the Gemini did you get here? Oh, I shall split my sides. I shall earthquake. Mrs. C. Sweet Nevis, do not quake, for though I love your honest countenance, all things above, truly I should not like to be conveyed so far into your bosom. Gentle maid loves not too rough a treatment, gentle sir. Pray thee, be calm, and do not quake nor stir. No, not a stone, or I shall go in fits. Ben Nevis. I must, I shall. I meet not such titbits. I meet not such sweet creatures every day. By my old nightcap, nightcap, night and day, I must have one sweet buss. I must and shall, Red Crag. What, madam, can you then repent of all the toil and vigor you have spent to see Bel Nevis and to touch his brow, his nose? Red Crag, I say, oh, I must have you close. Red Crag, there lies beneath my farthest toe a vein of sulphur. Go, dear Red Crag, go and rub your flinty back against it. Budge. Dear madam, I must kiss you. Faith, I must embrace you with my dearest gust. Blockhead, do you hear, blockhead? I'll make her feel. There lies beneath my east leg's northern heel a cave of young earth dragons. Well, my boy, go thither quick, and so complete my joy. Take you a bundle of the largest pines, and when the sun on fiercest phosphor shines, it's hard to say, fire them and ram them in the dragon's nest. Then will the dragons fry and fizz their best, until 10,000 now no bigger than poor alligators, poor things of one span, will each one swell to twice 10 times the size of northern whale. Then for the tender prize, the moment then, for then will Red Crag rub his flinty back, and I shall kiss and snub and press my dainty morsel to my breast. Blockhead, make haste. Pretty frightening intimidations. Oh, Muse, weep the rest. The lady fainted, and he thought her dead. So pulled the clouds again about his head, and went to sleep again. Soon she was roused by her affrighted servants. Next day housed, safe on the lowly ground, she blessed her fate, that fainting fit was not delayed. Too late. So in this case, the fainting saved the lady's life, it seems, or her well-being, from the terrible bus of Ben Nevis. All right, the good life. But before the good life, yesterday and last night, slept fine last night. Yesterday was a good, solid day. Lots of reading. Really good, powerful swim in the ocean yesterday. I swam for a long time against a really strong current. Good swim. Met a man from Oklahoma who had never been to California, never been out of Oklahoma. Came up, introduced himself to me. He was just astonished that a place like California existed. We had a nice talk. Came home, did more reading. My wife made 2 outstanding meals, a terrific lunch and a terrific dinner, really worthy of fame. Her fame. Her cooking is something else. Can't think of anything more to say about yesterday. The good life. My 7 objectives in the book are to be always ready to die, to make good and effective use of time, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to perform good actions, to recognize true limits and true opportunities, and to do just one thing at a time, and do the thing slowly and deliberately and carefully. And now my 34 principles are: war, reason, homunculus, anchor hold, home of good and evil, purpose, atomic principle, principle of nature, the pirate ride, maturity, social principle, principle of family, temperance, life will not go well, the horror show, that which must be born, the feast of offal, distraction, agency and the great indifference, the best seat in the house, the restless man, the path of wildness, the great life adventure, the risk of avoiding risk, sin and damnation, complete oblivion, the bullseye aim, the uphill climb, arena and utility. Hold on, I feel like I'm getting a little distracted. The bullseye aim, The uphill climb, season of philosophy, arena and utility. Nothing is enough. The principle of fun, and that's it. You can find all the details about these in my book, Going Alone, in the chapter titled The Good Life. Oh, by the way, I did write a book yesterday, AI assisted. It took me all day to figure out how to do it right, but I figured it out, and today I'll write down the workflow when I have a chance. Now I know how to write books with AI. It's not as easy as it thinks. It's definitely a collaborative effort. And anything from this point forward that is under the pen name softypapa is from AI. If it's Kurt Bell, it's me. The only exception to that is the softypapa social media feeds. If it doesn't say softypapa explicitly, signed softypapa, then it's me. If it's signed softypapa, that's the thing. If it's signed softypapa, that's the AI, if I hadn't said it enough. All right, so for today, interesting day. My project's done, so I've just got some project closure work to do today. I'm going to be turning my attention to some tasks that I've been meaning to do that I can catch up now that the main projects are done, and I'll ramp up towards my new work. My life story, I'm refining things down. I think I know what I'm going to be all about. I'm going to be all about that book, Going Alone. So, in particular, the sharing the mission and the story of Going Alone, which is the effort of facing down life on one's own. That's going to be the rest of my life is about. And I finally reconciled with how I'm going to be using AI. AI will be a tool to that end to help me to further the message, to communicate, to get the word out about this. That's where I'm going. That's my life story at this point. Now that my career is coming to an end, my fatherhood years are not over, but my raising days are nearly done, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, this is probably the last week Emily will be living with us in earnest before she goes back to school. Am I ready to die? Yeah, I'm ready to die. My life's affairs are in order, my relationships are sound, and my life's work is done. So with that, I can sign off. I wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. And with that, my life is, I'm saying it wrong. I'll get this down. But, okay, I guess that's it. My life is done, if not finished. And with that, I wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care.